how do I overcome it? I try to get ahead of it because it will always blow up. I try whenever I can to help business people understand the benefits, the risks, the trade-offs, what they can expect from data, how they should use decisions based on data, how data work is oftentimes very messy. You think, oh, data science, it has the word science in it, it's going to be very precise, right? Actually, it's not precise at all. It's research and development oftentimes. It's messy. What's the biggest stakeholder data mindset challenge that I've faced, and how did I overcome it? It's a question that I received on LinkedIn, and I'm excited to share the answer. So my biggest stakeholder data mindset challenge is when business people think that data people are some crazy, unrelatable geniuses who are just going to come in and solve everything, and everything is going to be perfect, and they're going to make tons of money with no pain involved, and all you need is this one genius, brilliant data scientist or data person who no one is going to understand, but they're just going to do everything right, and you're going to make a lot of money. I think many data people have met business leaders like that, and they will always end up disappointed. The business leaders will, because it's not the way that data work happens. Those data people will make big mistakes. Those machine learning models, they're going to be wrong sometimes. Sometimes they're going to be wrong in ways that no human would ever be wrong. And it will totally break your view of how sophisticated these things are. It's like, if you are predicting that 80% of Americans have drank a can of Fresca in the last 6 weeks, then no matter what else comes out of that model, it seems crazy, right? And I've been in that specific situation, which is why I use that as an example. And I think it's understandable why, given all of the amazing things that people on the outside of the data world have seen data people do, it seems like magic. And so when you hire a magician, you expect magic. And the reality of data work is not that. And it never ends well when people think like that. So how do I overcome it? I try to get ahead of it because it will always blow up. And so I try whenever I can to help business people understand the benefits, the risks, the trade-offs, what they can expect from data, how they should use decisions based on data, how data work is oftentimes very messy. And it is, you think, oh, data science, it has the word science in it, it's going to be very precise, right? Actually, it's not precise at all. It's research and development. Oftentimes it's messy. Actual science is also very messy for people that do real science. It's a very messy process. Things don't work the way you expected. An experiment goes wrong, not necessarily because that invalidates your assumption, but because something wrong just happened in the way that you coded up the experiment, right? Like, there are so many messy pieces to it. There are very many messy pieces to data work. And so by being relatable and having a relationship with the business leaders and giving them that context in advance, I think it helps save you a lot. And if any data people are currently working with executives who have that type of mindset, it's important to sit down and to have a real open and honest conversation as early as possible to say, hey, by the way, I know you have really big expectations for what data can do, and I have those same really big expectations. I can see that the work that this data team is doing is going to have a massive impact on the business. It's going to be messier than you think. And like any new process, there's going to be mistakes on all sides. There are going to be mistakes about what people think the data means. There are going to be mistakes about not understanding enough business context. There are going to be mistakes in the modeling. There are going to be mistakes in the ML ops side where the data product goes down for a week and then you need to figure out how to get it back up, or there's some data source that you're relying on that stops sending you data, and so suddenly it blows up everything and you need to rebuild the model without that data source, and then it's not as good, and then customers are going to complain, right? It's a real world, messy process that can provide a lot of value, but is not a seamless point A to point B trajectory. And so when you have a good relationship with the business people and you see them having unrealistic expectations about how things are going to happen, giving them a heads up about this is important. And then when those things happen, you can say, hey, by the way, don't get freaked out, right? It doesn't mean that everything is bad and that all of the things that you thought were invalidated. I remember that conversation that we had when I told you there were going to be tough moments and there were going to be times where it got really difficult. This is one of them. Here's what's happening. Here's why it does or doesn't change our overall thinking about things. Sometimes you think you've got a data product, you think you've got a model that can predict something that's valuable in the market, and then it turns out it can't. Those are tough conversations because in those conversations you are actually invalidating the core assumption of why you're doing something in the first place. Sometimes those are really tough. Often, for every one of those, you're going to have 10 or 20 there are operational problems or product development problems that are causing delays in launch or other things about the data that don't invalidate the core assumption, but that just make data work messy. So the more you can share, the more you can humanize and give people a sense of what data work actually looks like, the more they're not going to get freaked out when they see it. And that's going to allow you to keep a strong relationship when you inevitably go through tough times. And with data product, with regular products like traditional software products, this kind of stuff happens all the time. People expect it. In the market, it happens more frequently with data products because data products have all of the same reasons that traditional software products can go wrong, plus a whole host of new reasons that are unique to data products. So there's a lot of ways that launching data products can go wrong. So business people are used to seeing that on the software side, as long as you give them a heads up on the data side and give them a sense of what they're about to go through, then you should be fine. Just let them know that you're just going to be there the whole time to walk them through it and to get the project to the best possible place it can be. And that's how I've overcome those situations in the past. Sometimes they've blown up on me because I haven't handled them as effectively as I could now. And so learn from my mistakes and don't let people think you're a wizard. You're not doing magic. You're just another person that is doing a job. And good luck. Thanks for the question. Bye.